Oh, you got it too. Oh, you got it. You got it. You got it.
Welcome to the Brother Talk. This is Mark Carbonell, Managing Director of the Midwest Minority Think Tank, and welcome once again to Brother Talk, where we are moving, as our impetus to move us is solution-driven dialogue. Those things that can bring about a solution to the conundrums and problems that plague the people, especially the Black community. And so we come to another episode of Brother to Brother Talk, another edition to work on issues and then expound on the solution rather than spend our focus solely on numbers and statistics in a negative sense. We are offering resolution to matters, and you can contact us. We are open for your comments. And as you join us throughout the broadcast this evening, we will respond to any comments that you have, any questions that you have as we go forward. The election is over. The election is over. The election is over. The campaign is concluded. Once again, the election is over. Now, what did we get from the record turnout in terms of the popular vote? What do we get? And here we are facing in some of the most crucial times and critical times in this nation for Black people since slavery. That was the most crucial time. So now that we're enjoying a mobility and a great deal of freedom, the opportunity to move forward and stop the hemorrhaging of destruction and damage that's going on within our own community. So how do we do this? Through the political process. There are many other variables and many other approaches we could take the time to try to integrate into this conversation as to remedying the issues in the Black community. But right now, the focus is on the election process. The election process, and I set forth now the first thing that has to happen in order for things to change and we not get status quo out of every election cycle is there must become a Black political free agency. Years ago, Curt Flood, great baseball player for the St. Louis Cardinals, at that time was making over $100,000 a year, and that was a great sum of money in the 1960s. He refused to accept the binding contract that Major League Baseball owners had in place at that time. If you sign a one-year contract, then you were automatically bound at the owner's discretion for a second year. So in other words, you could never be free to enter into negotiations or offer your services to any other major league team. And as a result, Curt was out of baseball for a while. He sued and he broke the that was the beginning of the breaking of the free agency in pro sports. And of course, they all owe him homage now with the astronomical sums of funding that they now receive as a result of his sacrifice at that time. Now, we need Black political free agency in the Black community. We can no longer belong to one party with a binding arbitration or binding contract to that same party for another election cycle. There must become a black political free agency. And that political free agency is who will be the candidate, who will be the party that embraces and champions and legislates on behalf of the black community, who will campaign to get the black vote rather than have the black vote campaign for their candidates. We have to get this straight. So the first step is the people moving to black political free agency. And you do that when the people start deciding what the issues are rather than allowing candidates to tell us what the issues are. We know the issues. We're living the issues every day. And so our campaign is to tell those who would serve us, who would work for us, who would garner our votes, that these are our issues. Now, if you cannot deal with our issues, then you need to go somewhere else to seek the vote. So black political free agency starts with deciding the issues from within the community, from within the people, and instructing those who would assume the role of a political office. And a political office does not make you a leader. It makes you a servant. And so we have to get that priority established within the community, that the people who occupy these offices are there to serve. So we can't get this as they would say, we can't get it twisted. And so black political free agency starts with the community deciding the issues. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with more on Brother to Brother Talk. This is Brother to Brother Talk. We will take a break and we'll be right back. I'm Mark Carbone, Managing Director of the Midwest Minority Think Tank. We'll be back with more solution-driven dialogue on Brother to Brother Talk.
BrandonBeef.com.
Welcome back. I'm Mark Carbone, Managing Director of Midwest Minority Think Tank, and welcome back to Brother Talk. We are looking at the post-election status, whether we return to status quo or the status now becomes moving forward in a different direction. I know some are saying that we are, at this point, it's too early to begin focusing on the next election. We haven't gotten to the inauguration, and they haven't even sworn in the members of the new Congress, and people are battle fatigued from this strenuating campaign. But in order for us to get beyond where we are, there has to be an immediate action. It's not time to rest. It's not time to sit back and gloat. It is time to really plan a real strategy because we didn't get that in this past campaign. We got we got swept up in being a part of the Get Out the Vote campaign, but our issues were not at the forefront of that. It was just, we need you to participate. We need you to participate. We need you to participate. And did you get what you wanted by just your mere participation without voicing the need for, as we stated earlier in the first segment, Black political free agency? And that starts with deciding what the issues are. And then comes building coalitions, and not building coalitions around race, not building coalitions around ideology of a particular party, but the coalitions must be built around the issues directly impacting the Black community. That's where we have to start building our coalitions. And we build those coalitions when there's an understanding of the political process as well as the election cycle. The political process is not based on two parties. It's based upon the people. And so we do not have to align ourselves with the party to be able to see that the constitutional rights are in force. And so we cannot continue to be roped into a particular party that's not helping us to understand the political process that these individuals, whether it's a local individual or a national figure, has a job description to fulfill. And so we must understand what that job description is. And in many instances, we have to inform them of what their job description is because they're overreaching or either underachieving. And as a result, the people are getting robbed because on both sides, there seems to be a misunderstanding of the political process rather than an understanding of the political process. And the election cycle is more than get out the vote. The election cycle is to produce an opportunity for the people to evaluate the person that they sent to a particular office. And the election cycle should be that defining point, not how long you've been in that position, but what have you accomplished for the people from election cycle to election cycle. You do not get a lifetime contract to hold a position if you're not performing up to the standard of your constituency and up to the standard of your job description, whatever that job may be. And that brings us to accountability. The rhetoric which is espoused may not reflect your voting record. So the voting record of a particular individual is crucial for examination by the people. And so we do not get enamored with eloquent speeches, but we get a chance to see what bill have they sponsored, what bill did they actually vote for, and what have they done in the office that reflects that they really had the people at the forefront, and it was not a protected matter of just protecting their own position and their own status. Then comes the need for a new strategy for Black voters. A new strategy for Black voters. And that strategy is simple. We need to have the candidates for a particular office fill out a ballot. No, not voting for themselves, but looking at the issues that the people set before them that are within the reach of the particular office that they seek. And we ask them to fill out the ballot. And the candidates that fill out the most positive responses to the ballots given would be the leading candidate. And when you do that, you can eliminate the polls and the popularity and understand that we are looking at people who are going to vote our issues, represent our issues, and not tell us about they know how to get things get done. Well, if they are representing the constituency that hires them, then they must learn how to represent the people and not give for so much political rhetoric continuously. So we are in a position to create this new Black voter strategy, and it must be that which originates from the people, and that's how we bring about change in the governance. And this is what happens when the people begin to understand the power that they have within their vote. The political parties and candidates understand it, and they get what they want as a result of getting your vote. But now it's time for the voters to develop the strategy so that they can extract from the process that which in the returns reflect their ideas, their concept, and addresses and bring resolution to their issues and their concerns. So there is a great need for a new voters process. Getting some comments, just we're just thankful that you're joining in, and it's great to have people just sharing their view, and whatever their views are, we're here, and it's time to get us to the point where some people agree, some people disagree, but that's not the issue. The issue is getting people to the point that they understand where they are, how they make changes, and how to conduct business where it's not business as usual when the people who we are electing to represent us are doing just the opposite. I'm Mark Carbon-Knowles, Managing Director of the Midwest Minority Think Tank. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more brother to brother talk and solution-driven dialogue. This is Brother to Brother Talk. We will take a break and we'll be right back. I'm Mark Carbon-Knowles, Managing Director of the Midwest Minority Think Tank. We'll be back with more solution-driven dialogue on Brother to Brother Talk.
Beef.com.
The Great Lockdown of 2020, a mid-crisis analytical report, represents a historical work. The people provide indicators to their needs and roles in building and establishing the new norm. The voice of the people places at the fingertips of decision-makers knowledge of how the area's resources should be deployed to best serve the society and address the needs and concerns of the people going forward. This study serves as a guide to where key research should be directed and sets the course to engage resources during crises by future social theoreticians. Comparison of responses on multiple levels provide an uncanny insight. The capture of a population's response in the midst of a crisis compared to a post-crisis reflection shall prove to be of monumental value into human reactions facing uncertainty during and post a calamity. How do I write my life story? I know hurt and pain. I don't like either one, whether physical or emotional. Herein contains my story, Not Without Scars Part 2, Optimism, Perseverance, Persistence, Resilience, 2 decades of personal struggle. Optimism, I faced a new millennium with hopefulness. Perseverance, my ego, my humble beginnings, my desire to achieve never allow me to turn away from a difficult task. Persistence, opposition should be anticipated as an effective strategy to victory surfaces. Resilience, difficulties do not automatically spell termination. Scars reveal my imperfection as reminders of past episodes of pain, sorrow, or triumph. Scars can tell beautiful story endings or relay misery that wishes to remain anonymous. This work is meant to help others who have experienced decades of struggle. When struggles appear to never end, you must get through the night and face the challenge of a new dawn with fresh hope.
Welcome back to Brother to Brother Talk. I'm Mark Carbonell, Managing Director of the Midwest Minority Think Tank, and we're talking about a Black political free agency. And we do that. To start to accomplish that, we must have the issues emerging from the people and the issues emerging from the community, and as a result, we move to educating, training, and understanding the issues. Educating the constituents of any group in the neighborhood, training people in how to become candidates that will represent the people. And we can't allow that training to be solely external, and it can't be solely from a classroom perspective. The educating, training, and understanding of a representative position has to emerge from the people. The people have to have a greater role in producing the leadership, not based on being chosen, but based upon what the issues are and who can best serve as the advocate for the issue of the people within the community. In addition, there must be preparation for long-term action. Nothing happens, everything does not happen rapidly or immediately or overnight. And so we must begin the preparation for long-term action, stay in the course, deciding the issues, and stay in the course, developing the leadership, developing the solution that we desire, and sticking to that until the mandate is presented. That the preparation that goes into it, we're prepared for long-term action. And when you prep for long-term action to bring about change, you're grooming the leadership, whether they've been there for a while or repeat electoral representative. It doesn't matter, because the people have to be prepared for long-term action. And in order to prepare for long-term action, you make your demands known. The demands have to be made known not only to the candidates, but they must be made known to the people. You cannot garner the people together in a unified effort if they are not rallying around a set of principles, a set of issues that they understand that directly impact them. It's not enough to rally the people around personalities, individuals, and raise up more and more individual icons, as opposed to making the demands known for the change that's going to build up and fortify the community. So that's a key step, making the demands known, and then direct protest to target resolutions, not just to target media attention and call media attention to an issue, but the protest has to be directed to a target institution or individual that can bring about resolution. And so that's part of reshaping the strategy, is having direct protest to target resolution rather than garnering attention to an issue and then hoping that the people who are currently in power will see your protest and then they will automatically do the right thing, or all of a sudden get this great epiphany and that they know how to do something to resolve your issues. No, direct the protest to target resolution by making your demand known and you presenting a solution, and then they have to work off that foundation. And issues can be resolved at the state capital level rather than going to the nation capital. That's I understand the national protests and all that, but if it's 20,000 people at 50 state capitals, that's still 1 million people. And if they're saying the same thing at 50 state capitals, it will be heard in the nation capital. And so when people are then seeing that the motivation is not about getting a response from some designated leaders, but that people are designating themselves to present issues that they want resolved at state capitals and at the national level. This is how we change the narrative that the unity message is more important and is in a direct opposition to mass numbers as for credibility. A unity message has more credibility than just having a large gathering for feel-good days that look like something in the daily news cycle, as opposed to a unified message, a unity message that wants that insists upon change. And finally, engaging the people. A non-reliance on polls and media. When we put these seven principles into play, then we're taking the steps necessary for Black political free agency to take place. And this is what our message is. Black political free agency can only occur when we're deciding the issues from our own community, building coalitions around the issues rather than personalities or political affiliations, instruction that allow the people to understand the political process in the election cycle, while accountability becomes the forefront as a part of each election cycle. And this together, these form a new strategy for Black voters. Once again, I'm Mark Carvin Olds, Managing Director of the Midwest Minority Think Tank, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Brother to Brother Talk, a solution-driven motivation and a solution-driven dialogue. Once again, thank you for joining us for the Midwest Minority Think Tank's Brother to Brother Talk.